You know, when we mention HDC and all that surrounds HDC, it's always a very important discussion, and I think it's even more important to get information, to know and understand what's happening. We want to welcome on the set live this morning Jeremy Campbell, Divisional Manager, Corporate Services at the HDC, to touch on a very, very important topic. Some might even say touchy one, but it's a real discussion in real time because we need to address and turn this particular part around. It's all about illegal occupancy, and they're going to embark on the It's Not Yours campaign. Jeremy, let me say welcome and thanks for your time and being here this morning.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
How rampant is this illegal occupancy issue in the country?
So it is spiraling to a place where the agency is not comfortable with, right? So we have certain metrics that we follow, certain things we put in place in the background, but we felt it necessary to speak publicly about this campaign and bring it to the forefront to the public because the numbers are increasing and it's a bit concerning.
What's the loophole that people would be able to exploit to just move into HDC property while it's under construction, or they monitoring somebody? Realize nobody needs space. How do people just walk into HDC property and start to live? So
what happens when construction occurs, these units take a while to be completed. When remediation occurs, it takes a while for the units to be remediated. What we have seen is that within that gap, although we have security on all the sites, you can't be everywhere at once. So persons are moving into the units while it's under construction, and something that we have seen an uptick. For example, between the end of last year to the first 5 months in this year, there's been a 19.87% increase in what we have to be dealing with respect to illegal occupancy. So the figure is a bit alarming, so we felt the need to have a public campaign because the public are very important and they are the ones who actually give us the data as to, hey, someone is moving in illegally, there's something that we need to address. But because of the surge in the numbers, we needed to have this campaign to ensure that persons know what to do. So what's the first line of engagement? HDC now, they recognize, hey, the complaint came in, the call came in, somebody moved into a particular property. How do you all now start to treat with that? What's the first engagement with the folks who are taking up this space illegally? Right, so to speak to it, there's a proactive approach as well. We're not reactionary, we're very proactive. So there's a social department and a security department. They will go out to the sites, the social department will do what is called a verification survey. They will go to see if Jason Williams occupies this unit. If they see Jeremy Campbell, they know I'm illegal. They will then kick that information to the security department, who will then start the machinery with the legal department to write a letter to the customer called a notice to vacate. Now, that letter is HDC taking a very soft approach because based on the Trespassing Act of 2019, it clearly says anyone that moves into a unit illegally basically has either a 15-year jail sentence or a $100,000 fine. So the HDC will engage the person, give them this notice to quit, indicate that we know you're not living, you're not supposed to be in the unit. You have 7 days, sometimes you may go a bit longer to vacate. The security department will come back around before the 7 days and say you need to vacate the unit, and then the machinery starts. But it's a very proactive approach. The social department does a verification survey with the security department, and then we start the machinery moving. No, you know, we live in a time where there are some out there who are very harsh. They use intimidation as a tactic. I've heard of scenarios where people are actually put out of their HDC residence for whatever dubious reasons by certain folks within the community. When that's the scenario, I doubt the approach will be a soft one. No, well, and once we go to the sites, obviously TTPS, they are with us most times, right? Because the law clearly says if you break into an HDC unit, it's illegal, right? But what we try to do is that we try to engage persons because there are social concerns that may make someone feel that's the only option that they have. But moving into an HDC unit is illegal, nefarious or domestic, whatever the situation is an illegal act. So we try to do what is needed as a responsible landlord. We do a verification, we verify the situation, we get security, we get legal involved, we come back around to indicate we are coming, you all need to vacate the property. Because if I could just touch on it, there are two main costs that occur here. There's a social cost and there's an economic cost, right? So on the economic cost, one, you are occupying a unit, so the cost to remediate these units obviously is going to go up, and it has been going up. The cost to secure our eviction team is going up because now we have more persons to evict. A bigger issue, which is why the public and this campaign is so important, is that if you live in an apartment unit or a townhouse, these units that are being moved into illegally, there is no electrical connection. So persons are doing what we call bridging connection, illegal connections. So if you're in an apartment and somebody is living there illegally and they have an illegal connection, it could actually impact you. because the entire building now could actually catch a fire. Your family is now at risk. And that's why we are seeing the public coming out and telling us, hey, we are seeing these illegal persons moving in, and we are encouraging them to do that.
What about folks who, they're living in a space, let's say it would have been under their parents' name, paperwork is not in place, or there's been no kind of transfer on the deed, as it were, and they decide to continue living, mom or dad would have migrated or passed on. What's the dynamic there? Because I've recognized there would have been some gray areas also.
Yeah, there were.
In that regard.
We would have identified that last year when we had launched the relaunch of the house database, because we found, again, based on data, that persons weren't updating the application. If someone had passed away, they weren't coming into the HDC and saying, well, hey, someone has passed away, I'm the family member, let me update my record. So that entire halves launch allowed customers to come in, update their information. They come to the HDC head office, San Fernando, anyone, and they would then tell us they are the child of whoever would have passed away or whatnot, and then we would update the records. But it's just a way for us to engage the public so that they know they need to come to us first, have a conversation with us before you all make that decision to just stay there.
What is done for those who, so again, the HDC apartment or house is under my name, Jason Williams. I decide after a couple months, or I decide not to even live there from the jump, and I decide to rent it out now to Jeremy.
Right.
And HDC find out that Jeremy is renting. No, we will cut our mats.
Right.
HDC is not aware of this.
Right.
And you'll come and find out what's happening. What do you all do in that regard?
Right, so in the agreement that customers would sign, there's a clear clause that says you cannot sublet the unit. You need to purchase an HDC unit and own that property for over 10 years, and then you need to write to the legal department to have consent, what is called consent given. On that consent form, there's a list of documents that you need to submit to the HDC via the legal department, and then you'll be given approval to sublet the unit. What the public sometimes misunderstands or forget sometimes, unfortunately, is that these are state lands. This is a house that was built on state land. So yes, you may have paid off it, but you still need to come to the HDC to get proper approval that you could sublet it. And it also allows us to update our records as well, because you may want to sublet it to your niece if you travel abroad or whatever it is. We have no issue, but you need to follow certain guidelines before you could ask to have that unit subletted. And you need to own it. You can't rent a unit or be in a license to occupy and sublet. You need to own that property, have a deed, etc.
You know, the demand is more than the supply.
Exactly.
I mean, everyone that's on their wish list, you know, to acquire a home. People always say that, you know, my application in HDC for all these years. But then there are those who would have received their HDC keys and they're dropping the ball constantly. And my question is HDC going to finally say, you know what, we're giving you one chance, we're giving you a second strike, this is your third strike, you know what, move on, to bring somebody else in a space?
So we are looking at those programs. We do have systems in place to address customers. So there's two things happening: persons who are in arrears, persons who take too long to finalize their mortgages. So we do have, again, a soft-handed approach, but a very strategic approach in which where we engage the customer. It's very customer-centric driven, and we try to get the customers to understand that HDC house is not free. Once you pay for your HDC house, it allows the HDC now to generate revenue to build more units. So we are doing these things in the background, and these are campaigns that you will see rolled out in the future. But just to touch on something before you move on, what I want to say is that the illegal occupancy campaign, that is just the overarching cover, because there are other more critical issues that come from that illegal occupancy. You may have applied for a house 20 years ago, you're now selected, you got randomly selected, you get approved, whatever process you would have gone through, TTMF would have qualified you. You now get in your house, you're qualified, you go into your house, and now somebody illegally occupies the unit. This now prohibits you from moving into your home. It now makes the timeline longer for you to actually occupy your home. So that's what I'm saying, there's a social cost where your family now is denied something that you did legally to get your home.
And then somebody might want a new unit because you won't want to go into a space where somebody else was living. You don't know what kind of energy, what kind of vibration inside that space. Me personally, if I got lot 1C on the street and I go there and realize somebody living, give me lot 1F.
Exactly.
I want to go down the road because I don't know what went on in the space. I got to now wash down the place and really, you know, sanitize.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just find it because, again, I go back to saying that the demand is more than the supply. Everybody and the cousin, you know, and rightfully so. You want to get affordable housing, and we have seen some beautiful properties go up. And people, you know, that's their dream. And there are those who are HDC customers. They are with HDC, and they're dropping the ball, and they've been dropping the ball for years, and it's a bly upon a, you know, it's How much more blinds we could give some people?
But that's it. I think we're at a point where decisions are being made. Hence the reason why we want to have these public campaigns first. Yeah. Ensure that the public understands this is what we term illegal occupancy. These are the steps that are being taken when someone is illegally occupied. If you know someone who's illegally occupying a unit that is in a townhouse, an apartment, a single family, understand that it could affect you, especially if there are illegal connections in our building or our townhouse. It could in fact allow your unit to be affected via fire. So these campaigns allow us to connect the dots for the public so that they understand how everything is connected. A illegal occupant is in a unit that was assigned to someone who would have been doing the correct thing, would have legally applied, and they now can't occupy the unit because of that.
Yeah, and it's simple maths, do unto others as you will like them do unto you. Yep. You will not like somebody to do you that, ultimately. So I think, yes, I know there's lots of desperation, there's lots of hardship. I'm not oblivious to that, but there must be an order.
Yeah, exactly.
If we want to move towards that kind of country, there must be an order and a structure. And also I want to add before we take the break, many say they want a HDC house or a HDC apartment, but as you rightfully said, it's beyond that. You must pay for it also. So I don't know, for some people feel like, well, you get it and that's it. Like it's free. No, you have to pay for it. It have nowhere in the world. That nobody can say, hold a free house.
And again, this is why I'm saying that we take a very proactive and strategic approach, because in January, we launched the More Ways to Pay campaign, where everyone said, you all need to pay the HDC.
Yes.
You can go on the HDC website now. Even if you live abroad and your mom is here, you could pay for your mom's unit, So we are trying to make that gap connected, where customers understand when you apply, these are the steps, but also this illegal occupancy is something that needs to be curbed because it is impacting law-abiding citizens who are literally just waiting for their home.
Well, I want to thank you, Jeremy, for coming on to shed some light on this campaign. It's not yours campaign. HDC doing their part to try to I guess, correct some of the wrongs and to straighten out some of the curves and corners that some people might try to take. Yeah. Again, feel free, come anytime, Jeremy, to keep us posted with
Thank you, I will.
Yes.
One last thing, persons who know something, if they see something, say something, we have a contact number, 339-4HDC, that's 339-4HDC, or securityissues@hdc.gov.tt.
Thanks for the information.
No problem, sure.
We take that break. We come back, one quick segment to take care of before we head to the 7 a.m. news update. See you soon.